To all the non-believers, 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 non-believers. I'm making non-believers.
What's up, y'all? This is Jay Varsity, and welcome to episode 44 of NBA Talk Playoff Edition. We got a lot of stuff to talk about today, but let's get straight to the chase. We're going to talk about the first game of last night, which was the Boston Celtics and the Milwaukee Bucks. I told you that wall, that 3-2 zone that they put on Giannis in game one wasn't going to work. I told you. It was not going to work. And Milwaukee was just playing on a whole nother level tonight. Last night, not tonight. But Giannis, he picked apart that wall. He went through it. He found shooters. People were hitting their shots. Chris Middleton with 7 threes. It was just a whole nother game. It was a very competitive game in the first half. But then once the third quarter hit, it was over. It was just plain old over. I mean, they was just knocking down threes left and right, going to the free throw line. Giannis was hitting threes. When Giannis is hitting threes, Giannis is just on a whole nother level when he's hitting threes. Giannis looked like one of the best players on the planet. I'm sorry. Giannis, I see something from Giannis that I haven't seen out of a player every time I watch him play. It's like people always go like, all he does is run and dunk, run and dunk. He's more than that, man, because he's working on his game, and you see it. You see that. You see that he's developing his game. And at the same time, the Bucks were not just going at it offensively. They were attacking Kyrie defensively. They were closing down on him. Kyrie was really struggling last night. Kyrie was really struggling. Like, you saw it. Like, he was getting rejected at the rim. He was missing some shots. He was 4 for 18 last night. He missed 14 shots. So it's like the Boston Celtics, this is the thing that what it kills me about them is like when they win, they get full of themselves and then they play lazy when they have to play the next game. It's like they forgot they were playing the number one team in the league. Like, did you just forget that you're playing against a team that won 60 games this year? And they have an MVP candidate right there across on the other side of the court? Like, you can't afford to play lazy. And when Kyrie's not going, the rest of that team doesn't get going. And it's the stone cold fact, because even though we say sometimes that Boston plays better without Kyrie, when Kyrie's on the court, he needs to be great. Kyrie Irving he literally has to carry the Celtics. This Celtics roster is deep, but he needs to carry this team. He has to. It's just a plain old fact. When you got Giannis with all these shooters all around him and how well they play cohesively on defense, because they locked down on defense. Milwaukee was so determined on defense to stop Kyrie Irving and stop some of the perimeter shooting. It was a wrap. That third quarter, I said it was a wrap. By the time the third quarter ended, I said the game was over. The game was over, because what did they go on, a 28-point run or something like that? Like, I can't remember how many points how much that scoring run was. Right in the comment section, how many it was to correct me. But it's just Milwaukee is so explosive. It's like the same thing I explained with the Portland and Denver series. Denver is like when you have that one player that could be so dynamic and dominant and so explosive, and it triggers everybody else to be explosive, they're hard to beat. And that's the same thing with this Milwaukee team. Giannis could have a bad game, but if everybody else on the Bucks is hitting their shots, the Bucks are still very hard to beat, and it just makes Giannis even harder to guard. It's like you could build a wall around Giannis all you want, but he's gonna find a way to get through. I said it that wall tactic was not going to work. That wall tactic was not going to work in game 2. And I had people tell me that I was wrong, that I was crazy, but Giannis broke through it. Come on, man. Giannis is not all of a sudden just going to start struggling against the Boston Celtics. He wants to beat this team. I mean, come on, man. I know people were going like, oh, but he said, I'm not promising a win. You really think he's not going to try to win this game? We all know Giannis is competitive. He wants to beat everybody he sees across from him that's not wearing a Milwaukee Bucks jersey. Like, he He's going to come in and he's going to try to kill you. I mean, come on, man. Like I said, like I uttered earlier, Giannis is looking like one of the best players on the planet, and I will say a year or two from now, Giannis will be the best player on the planet. He will be the best player on the planet because what I'm seeing from Giannis is not anything that I've seen from a superstar before. He's long, lengthy, an elite defender. He can protect the rim. He's scoring in different ways. He's not just dunking. He's hitting that consistent jumper. When he's decent from three, he's very hard to guard. It's like, come on, bro. It's like the disrespect for Giannis is unbelievable. It's unbelievable, man. I know everybody's talking about how this could be that the Boston Celtics were coming collectively, but like I said, this has been an up and down season for the Boston Celtics. They've been up and down. It's like one day they'll look like they have the perfect team chemistry, the next day they look like they don't even want to pass the ball to each other. It's like come on, bro. And then the 3-point shooting, it's more off than it is on, because when it's on, it's like one game, and then most of the time it's off. So I still like the Bucks to win this series. I really do. I really like the Bucks to still win this series. Giannis, to me, is my MVP. Giannis, to me, is the MVP of the league right now. He's been playing like it on both ends of the floor. Like, to me, it's just, to me, being honest, I think Giannis is the MVP. But we'll see how games 3 and 4 play out. I still like not Boston. I like the Bucks to win this series. Kyrie got to be great in the rest of the series in order for Boston to have a chance, because Milwaukee is just so damn dangerous, man. They are so dangerous. Like, I don't know how Boston is going to try to overcome this. Like, I don't care if Jason Tatum goes off. Boston could have a night where they somehow they'll be okay scoring, but Milwaukee, if they start hitting their transition shots and they start knocking down their threes, they're a very tough team to beat. And when Eric Bledsoe and Chris Middleton are hot, along with Giannis and Brook Lopez, they are literally unbeatable. Like, I've seen it for my very eyes. I'm not crazy. They know how to clamp down on defense. They are very dedicated. They're number one in defense. They're not there for no reason. They are not the number one team, the number one defensive team for no reason. They clamp down on defense. That was the Milwaukee Bucks last night. Now on to the second matchup. We had the Houston Rockets against the Golden State Warriors. This was game 2, and man, bro, I was looking forward to this game all day yesterday. I was like, oh my God, this is gonna be a very chippy game. People are gonna be looking at the officials. They're gonna be seeing how Scott Foster officiates James Harden. And speaking of James Harden, man, like, dude, my God, Draymond Green does it again. He manages to poke the eye out of another superstar. Like, isn't this deja vu? He did this to LeBron in the finals last year. And now he did this to James Harden. Not intentionally. I never assumed that Draymond does this intentionally. I'm not going to say that. He didn't do that intentionally. But it's just a coincidence that this is the second time he's done it. This is just a very big coincidence that he's done it the second time. But like I said, it's not intentional. But I commend James Harden for damn near playing when he kept blinking the entire night because of how bad his eyes were. Like, I commend his performance. Like, he really tried to help Houston win this series. He well, not win the series. The series is not over. At least win game 2. But yo, it's like Kevin Durant was doing his thing. Steph Curry, not to mention Steph Curry had an injury also. He dislocated his middle finger. What a coincidence. his middle finger, he dislocates his middle finger. I'm not trying to make fun of the injury. It's just like when you mess up your middle finger, it's almost like you have to keep your middle finger straight or something like that. So most of the time you're going to look like you're flipping people off and all that. But anyway, the injury's not funny, but like, it's just a coincidence there too. But yeah, the Warriors, they were beating the Warriors, running their Hampton 5 lineup. The Hampton 5 lineup to me is like, it's almost that lineup is almost impossible to guard because you have to pray that Andre Iguodala and Draymond Green are not hitting their shots. Because KD can go off. Like KD could do his thing, and then you stop Steph and Clay. But if Draymond and Andre Iguodala are hitting their shots, it's almost like everybody else is going to get in a rhythm because you're going to be more worried. You're going to start worrying about them. I don't worry about Draymond as much as I do Andre Iguodala, because if Andre Iguodala finds a way to get his points, it's like, what do you do? How do you switch on them? And I still would go with the tactic to make KD play one-on-one. Like, you're going to have to tell somebody on the Rockets, you're going to be like, look, you're going to have to guard KD, and even if he drops 50 on you, just keep contesting the shot. Like, just keep doing it. We'll worry about Steph and Clay. We'll worry about Steph, Clay, and Iguodala. We'll leave Draymond open at the 3, but you just have to know that KD is going to drop buckets on you because, for one, he's taller than you. Second, he's one of the great scorers of the NBA today. It's just gonna happen. Like, you're not gonna completely shut down KD. You can try. You could probably get a steal or two or something like that. I'll commend your effort, but that would be like the discipline to guard Kevin Durant. That knowing you're going to get scored on. But speaking of, it's like James Harden and Kevin Durant almost had a similar game last night. Like, we're saying, oh my God, that Kevin Durant had this great performance. Him and James Harden put up the same amount of points. And KD missed, I think, 3 more shots than James Harden. KD went 9 for 22. Like, has anybody noticed that? KD went 9 for 22, and James Harden went 9 for 19. And mind you, James Harden, he was dealing with an eye injury. Like, I'm not trying to say James Harden had a better performance, because obviously KD is going to get the better performance because the Warriors won. And then the Rockets in general, they were too worried about the officials. I really thought that they were way too worried about the officials. There's a paranoia with the Rockets, with the officials in this series right now. They were so worried that Scott Foster was going to screw them that they realized this was a pretty decently fairly called game. I mean, both teams weren't really complaining as much to the refs as they were in game 1, and the game was mostly being called down the middle, aside from a couple of illegal screens that I have to say Draymond Green got away with. And yeah, a couple things got let go, but it's playoff basketball. Some things they just let go. I mean, it's playoff basketball. You're not going to call every little thing. We're not freaking robots. But yeah, the Rockets were just way too worried about officials, and they weren't attacking the hole enough, to tell you the truth. They were not attacking the paint enough, and they were being too lackadaisical with their passes. And I was like, what the hell is this team? Like, what are they doing? Like, this is not the Houston Rockets team I saw last year. Like, they were being aggressive. They were attacking the paint when the chance came by, and it's like all they was doing was just throwing they were just throwing up prayer shots, prayer 3-pointers, and hoping they would go in. And like I'm seeing PJ Tucker throw one-legged 3-point shots, and I'm like, what in the hell are they doing? Like, what are they doing? And Clint Capella, like, what happened to you? You were the first person that said, I want Golden State, and you've been playing like complete crap in this series. Like, you have been playing like complete crap, bro. Like, you're getting stopped by KD under the rim. You're getting stopped by KD. You're heavier. You're stronger and bigger. Well, not bigger as in taller. I mean bigger as in like muscle-wise than Kevin Durant. You should be like pushing Kevin Durant to the stanchion and dunking on him. Like I don't understand. Like, you're getting bodied by Kevin Durant at the rim. Clint Capella has been more. Clint Capella and the rest of this team has been disappointing to me. Chris Paul played a little bit better. I mean, and when I say a little bit better, I mean like he hit a few more accurate shots, but like he still played reckless. I mean, I don't know what I'm seeing from the Houston Rockets right now. I just don't know what I'm seeing. Like, What are they trying to do? Like, you're more focused on trying to get Golden State in foul trouble than you are making your shots. Like, okay, both teams looked like they were a little more locked in to win the game, but Golden State just kept playing. Like, what were you guys doing? I understand a few calls were going the other way here and there, but it was mostly a fairly officiated game, and I blame the Rockets for taking this loss. I mean, aside from that illegal screen when the Rockets were only down 3, like I have to say, like, I can't really say nothing because like I said, Kevin Durant did his thing. Steph Curry, he had his shooting struggles and he got in foul trouble again. Like Steph is really picking up problems when it comes to getting fouls. Like, what's this, the second game in the series that he's had 5 fouls? Like I really don't know. But James Harden, I hope he gets better. I hope he gets better for Game 3. I think Game 3 is going to be ugly. To tell you the truth, I think Game 3 is going to be ugly, and I think Golden State is going to run into a big load of trouble when it comes to Game 3 because Houston is going to come in and they have to play do-or-die basketball. They have to play do-or-die basketball. They cannot just come and throw up prayers, and they have to play smart, efficient basketball. I'm not saying they have to change up their game plan because the Rockets are the Rockets. They're known for shooting a bunch of load of threes, and it's just you have to take smarter shots. Don't just take any shot. Take the smarter shot. And it's like, what? I don't know what are they trying to do when it comes to they're just living and dying by the 3. And like I said, James Harden, towards the beginning and maybe even mid fourth quarter, he started attacking the paint, and that's all I wanted James Harden to do. I'm like, yes, do that. If you can do that, if you could just go 2 by 2 going into the paint because you can't just stay 5 out the entire time. Go into the paint and get your layups and a couple of floaters, and then Golden State has to switch up defensively. Golden State knows how to defend the Rockets somehow at this point. They know that you're going to have 4 shooters outside of the 3-point line. James Harden could go to the rim and make his floaters. Chris Paul, hit your mid-range shots. People, the paint is not a force field. The paint is not a force field. Go attack the paint. Like, I understand you're worried about officials, but screw the officials. Screw the officials, for God's sake. My God, I'm going in on the Rockets right now because I'm really heated because they need to win Game 3. And it's not like they lost by much. You lost by 6 points. You lost by 6 points. You've lost by a total of 10 points in these 2 games. A total of 10 points. You could take the Warriors in this series. The Warriors, they've been having their shooting struggles. And as much as you think I'm crazy because of how easily they're scoring, they've been struggling when it comes to the Rockets because the Rockets have been playing a little physical with them on defense. And the Warriors have been a little bit reckless with turning the ball over. And that's just from what I've noticed. Because to me, whenever they have Kevon Looney on the floor, James Harden purposely tries to get switched on Kevon Looney, and he easily scores. To me, that's already something I would be looking for if I'm the Houston Rockets. If Kevon Looney's on the floor, James Harden, try to get switched on Kevon Looney, and he blows right by him. And if Kevin Durant's not at the rim, then you're gonna get an easy basket. And yeah, like, you need to make adjustments. You need to make at least some sort of adjustment, and you need to be a lot smarter. And James Harden, I'm hoping his eyes are feeling better because I would really hate for James Harden to start playing not even more terrible, but I would hate for James Harden to start playing bad in the series just because of an eye injury. I really do. Like that. At first I thought James Harden was exaggerating because you know how some players, they just over exaggerate and they stay on the ground even longer just to make sure that they call timeout and all that. But when I saw how bloodshot his eyes were, I was like, oh my God. I was like, it's LeBron all over again. It's like, damn. But James Harden was still hooping. He was still hooping, even with his eyes like that. Like, I still want the Rockets to come in with the mindset that they could win this series. Like, they have to. They cannot give up at this point. They really cannot. But they need to be more efficient with their shots. Chris Paul needs to take smarter shots. PJ Tucker needs to stop just standing in the corner. He needs to go to the top of the key. He needs to go to the left or the right wing. He needs to go to different spots on the floor because they will run right to the corner because they know PJ Tucker is there. They need contribution from everybody if they want to win this series. Clint Capella needs to be more of a threat at the rim. He needs to be more of a threat on the rebounds, because that's another area where Houston got dominated, was offensive rebounds. Like, come on, man. Like what were you guys doing? What were you guys doing? You're getting out-rebounded. Steph is beating you on the rebounds. But yeah, Golden State, Golden State played their brand of basketball, which was moving the ball, sharing the ball, getting the shot for the open man. Like, Kevin Durant's been on fire. Like I said, I will never say on planet Earth that Kevin Durant is trash at basketball, but I just say his personality is faker than tissue paper. But like, I would just say Kevin Durant's personality, he's fake, but his game is real. His game is real. But I need to get into another topic right here. I really do. When did we unanimously decide that Kevin Durant was the best player in the world? When did we decide that? Like, okay, he said that stupid quote, "I'm Kevin Durant, you know who I am," crap. But when did we all of a sudden just decide that Kevin Durant's the best player in the world? Like I mentioned about Giannis. Giannis in a year or two will be the best player on the planet. He can do. I'm not saying Giannis could be exactly like Kevin Durant. To me, and this is just my opinion, and this is just my preference, I like what I see Giannis doing on the floor than what I see KD doing, because, like I said, Giannis went 7 for 16. KD went 9 for 22. Like, I saw a more efficient game from Giannis than I saw from Kevin Durant. That's just me talking. That's just me. That's my preference. Like when I see what Giannis does on both ends of the floor, defensively and offensively, he's a threat on both ends. Kevin Durant, I don't see what people think about defensively, because I've seen Kevin Durant play defense, and there are times where Kevin Durant's getting scored on like no tomorrow. I've seen James Harden get buckets on Kevin Durant like no tomorrow. I've seen Giannis shut down James Harden. Like, I've seen Giannis shut down Kevin Durant. Like come on, bro. Like, I'm not talking about Kevin Durant's not going to get his buckets, but like, Giannis puts up a better fight on defending Kevin Durant. Kevin Durant cannot be the single-handedly most unguardable player on the planet. Like, he just cannot. Kevin Durant, as a shooter, he's going to have his nights where he's not going to make his shots. And last night was one of his nights. He was 9 for 22. 9 for 22. Giannis was 7 for 16. He missed 9 shots, but at the same time, he was 2 for 4 from the 3. Kevin Durant was 3 for 6. So there you go. They're balanced there. But like, I like what Giannis is doing. I really do. I like what Giannis is doing. And it's not just because I'd rather see dunks than threes. I like the all-around game that I'm seeing from Giannis. I really am liking it. And he's only going to get better. And the level that Kevin Durant is at is like, Giannis could possibly do that, but he could, honestly, he's not going to be as efficient of a shooter, obviously. I'm not saying unless he all of a sudden just becomes a lights-out three-point shooter next season. But like I said, this has become a topic. Like, I could tell you right now, the best player in the world argument is only going to get harder as the years go on, because we're going to get guys getting better when it comes to Giannis. Maybe we'll see Ben Simmons attempt a jump shot, but he's obviously a great defender. Joel Embiid, Donovan Mitchell, any hell, we could still mention Anthony Davis. We could mention oh man, if I'm missing anybody, then please correct me if I'm wrong. But like, there's gonna be the best player in the world argument is gonna be so damn difficult in the next couple of years. But I think people are just hypnotized at the moment that Kevin Durant is on the Warriors. They're in the playoffs. LeBron's not in the playoffs, and Kevin Durant is just literally not being double teamed, because that's another thing I gotta mention. Kevin Durant is not double teamed. He can't afford to be double teamed because the Golden State Warriors are just that lethal. Like, you single-handedly cannot double team Kevin Durant as long as he's on the Warriors. That's why they're saying, that's why I could clearly see that people are saying he's the best player on the planet, because he's literally getting one-on-one matchups the entire time, and he's being guarded by people that are way shorter than him. Tell me, if you're Kevin Durant, then obviously you're going to shoot over Chris Paul anytime you're in the post. Obviously you're going to shoot over a guy like PJ Tucker. Obviously you're going to shoot over a guy like James Harden. Obviously he's going to look like the best player on the planet when every defender that he's faced so far in the playoffs is shorter than him. Every defender he's had, tell me if I'm wrong. Name me one person that's close to Kevin Durant's height and has made Kevin Durant work for his shots. Yeah, Kevin Durant's making some contested shots. Like, a lot of the shots that he was taking are contested, but like, I'm not unanimously going to call him the best player in the world. I'm not. Like I said, that's me. That's my opinion. Like, as an all-around player, I'm picking Giannis over KD. That's just me. I'm picking Giannis over KD. But yeah, like I said, this best player in the world argument is only going to get harder. Hell, we're looking at stats, and this is supposedly LeBron's down year, and he averaged this year 28 points, 8 rebounds, and 8 assists. I mean, that's a down year. That's a down year, and we're just talking about it because he didn't make the playoffs. We're just saying, people are just saying he's not the best player in the world anymore because he didn't make the playoffs. I'll leave it at that. But yo, like I said, this is gonna be a very tough argument for next season, because when KD leaves the Warriors, are we still gonna call him the best player in the world? So let's say in a scenario, let's say he joins the New York Knicks. Then all of a sudden, let's say they don't make the playoffs. Are we going to call Kevin Durant the best player in the world then? Like, because you have to use that argument against him, right? I personally don't use that argument. I really don't. I don't use that argument, but apparently a lot of people do. A lot of people do. But yeah, we have to. I want to see if Kevin Durant can do this. That the way he's playing in the playoffs, if he could do this on another team that's not Golden State, and he could handle all the double teams and all this other stuff, if he could do this, I've seen him do this in OKC. I know Kevin Durant is a killer. But like, to me, it just makes it a whole lot easier for Kevin Durant to do work when you don't have to worry about being double teamed, or you don't have to worry about being contested at the rim, because you have two of the greatest shooters on the planet on your team. Like, it just makes his job a whole lot easier. And then, like I said, the Rockets need to come out with a better mindset in Game 3. But yeah, that's it. That's all. This is your boy Jay Varsity. Comment, like, and subscribe if you like basketball content. This was your boy, and I am out. Peace.
We got some non-believers out there.
Make believers out of non-believers. Make believers out the overseas.